Recording live from the Northeast Georgia Business RadioX studio. This is Northeast Georgia Business Radio. It always helps if I have my microphone on. Hey, folks, I'm back. Hey, it's Tom Sheldon. I'm your host, Northeast Georgia Business RadioX. Coming to you live from the beautiful Empower College and Career Center of Jackson County. We've got a great show, yet another great show for you today. Got to give a big shout out to my good buddy, Mr. Mike Salmond. He's back running the board. He's waving to us. And
I'm actually going to talk.
Your mic is on.
I never do. Your mic was on the whole time.
Really?
You made it sound like we forgot to turn your mic on.
I forgot to turn the mic on.
Right, but because I'm your producer, quote unquote,
I always blame it on the sound guy.
People are going to blame me.
Darn right they are.
So it was the host's fault.
I'm putting it on the website.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Mike.
Carry on.
You're the best, Mike. That's why we normally cut his mic off. Hey, with me today, I got a cool guest, Mark Holder, Holder's Pest and Wildlife Services. Mark, how are you, sir?
Doing great, and how's all of you folks?
When the technology works, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So no, we're great. We're blessed. We're probably better off than we deserve, to be honest with you. So can I call you Bugman?
You can call me Bugman. You
Bugman.
can call me Ratman. You can call me Batman, which I really love. Just don't ever call me the Turtle Man. I don't want to be associated with Yahoo.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
The Snake Man. I don't know about that either.
Yeah.
That's maybe a whole different genre.
Right.
All right, Bugman. Batman's good.
Yeah.
We throw Batman around, we might get sued by somebody. I don't even know.
Could.
So, Mark, you're here locally.
I am.
You're here, based out of Houston?
Based out of Houston and was born and raised in this area, which the only hospital back in that day was in Winder.
That's right.
Born there and then just raised around Houston, Brazelton all my life.
Nice. So you've seen it grow. You've been a part of it.
Oh, man, growth. That's a whole nother radio station show
That's
right there.
That's a whole nother show. Everyone keeps avoiding us on that one. I don't know why. I don't know why. So how long have you been in the pest control and wildlife service business?
Well, I was a heavy equipment mechanic, and everything there is heavy. And one of my buddies just offered to come to work with them doing a pest control route to get away from that.
I don't blame you.
Went in and took all my Department of Agriculture tests, passed them, became a route tech, and done it for years, 7-8 years. And the company I was with was one of the fastest growing in Atlanta, and they sold out to a national company.
Of course they did.
They take your customers, they take your techs, they take your trucks, but they don't take managers. And at that time, I had worked myself up to a service manager. So I had to go work for them for a month and take the complaint calls of all of our customers being sold to them.
Yeah, that'll happen.
A lot of people I sold, friends and family, decided that they didn't want to be with a national company and was hounding me of where do I go? And at that time, I just decided to step out, start our own company, and go from there. And you know what they say, the rest is history.
Yeah. And then you come to a really cool podcast. It's just that easy.
Yeah, and this right here is just going to be a career jump right here.
Well, I don't know about that. We'll see how it works out. I think it's going to be good for your career. I promise it's going to be good for your career. Your industry is very unique. You become a part of your clients, your customers' lives. You're going into their home. You're not a complete stranger, or at least you won't be a complete stranger. That is very unique.
Well, it is unique in a way that we like to build relationships.
You have to.
And we really like for those relationships to turn into family relationships.
Right.
We want generation after generation to take us on as their guy, whether it be their bug guy, whether their wildlife guy, and just continue servicing them with great service and customer service and be referred to all their friends and family.
That's what it's about. It's about the word of mouth. It's about the relationships.
Yes.
Sounds like you're doing a pretty good job of it, man.
We're doing a real good job. The work is outdoing the employees, which are hard to find right now.
I was about to ask. I was afraid to ask you about that.
Well, you know how it goes with everybody right now.
Everybody is suffering.
Yeah, everybody.
Do you ever, and if I'm pushing the limit here, just say it. Do you ever have issues of keeping the employees once you get a good, shall we say, a good employee? The retention.
No, the guys that are with me now have been with me for years, and I try to fish out of our church pool.
Sure.
Good, honest guys. And the only ones that has really left is not really gone to another company. They decided to start their own business, whether they were getting into construction, remodel, stuff like that, not necessarily into the pest control industry, but going off doing their own thing.
Right.
And I'm happy for them. I encourage them.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Encourage them. I always say, if you can better yourself, I would
Do
never
it.
stand in the
Do
way.
it. That's right.
Yeah.
I'll come work for you.
Come on.
I have to believe that if I'm a homeowner, and I am a homeowner, if I'm a homeowner and I have someone coming onto my property or even into my home on a regular basis, I want to see the same guy every time.
Every time.
I don't want a different guy every week. Well, maybe not every week. I don't know how often you go to homes, but I don't want to see a different guy every time.
Right. And most of our customers do not want to see a different technician.
Right.
They get used to one. They build that relationship. They build that trust. And they build actually the knowledge from that tech. Being able to explain to them, this is what we do, this is why we do it, and this is what you need to do also.
Super important.
And when they build that relationship, they take it to heart and say, well, he told me I need to trim that limb. Let me get it done.
Right.
And it's a thing where when they see the same person over and over, they understand that the company is a good, reputable company and not, blowing through technicians and
right.
People just there for their weekly pay or whatever. But we like to build relationships and turn them into family members and treat them the same way we would treat family and treat their homes the same way we would any other person, any of our family or friends.
I'm sure in time you do become part of the family. You get invited to weddings and birthday parties and stuff like that.
Absolutely. We have some.
A little bonus right there.
Right around Christmas time, you'll start seeing the boxes and the gifts and stuff like that.
Awesome.
Yep. Nothing like going to an elderly's home and there's a jar of pickled okra or something like that.
Well, I need that route.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I hear you. I like it. It. Well, you're doing something right if you're having all those perks, man.
Oh, yeah.
And that's awesome. Not just a personal touch, but a family touch.
Exactly.
And that does separate you from, say, a international, a global company.
It really does separate us.
And they're good companies, too. Don't get me wrong. We're not slamming anybody, folks.
They are.
But
I think
there's a difference.
There's
a difference, Mark.
Is having time. Some of the bigger companies have a quota, a number of, and we do as well, but still we can spend time, and if we get behind, I can jump out there and kind of help out with the route, get it caught back up. But just spending the time and not being a number, but actually, and not being a customer, but actually being part of the family. And Lorraine, who works for the chamber, the Jackson magazine, she came up with a little slogan or logo for us and said, "Experience the holder experience or the holder difference." And that's what we want it to be. We don't want to be the same old, the same cookie cutter type stuff. And that's some of my 30-second elevator speeches at meetings. Is we're not a cookie cutter type company. Everybody's different. Your home's different. The problems are different. So let us treat you for what you need to be treated and not extra.
Perfect. Sounds like you're doing it.
Well, we are.
Back it up. I love it.
We do back it up. I don't believe in selling people smoke and mirrors, things they don't need, making them spend money they don't really have at the cost of everything else these days. Let us just take care of the problem you're having and move on from there.
So how long has Holders been in business?
We started in May of 2010 in the pest control
13
industry.
Years.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're doing something right.
You
wouldn't last 13 months.
We're working.
In that industry, you would not last 13 months.
Well, that's what they say. If you don't do something good in the first 2 years, you usually go out.
Yeah, you go out quick.
Yep.
I want to go back. You said earlier, you mentioned the Georgia Department of Agriculture.
Oh, yeah.
Are you licensed by them?
You have to be licensed by the Georgia Department of Agriculture. Each company has to have what's called a DCO, Designated Certified Operator.
Designated Certified Operator.
And that test is bigger than the registration test. So I'm a Designated Certified Operator, and my employees are registered techs. And not only do you have to study and pass those tests, you have to continue your education. So many hours every 2 years.
Certification hours.
certification hours, registration hours. Yeah,
Right.
so all of our techs have to go and pick up hours every 2 years to be able to renew their registration. I have to get mine every 5 years, continuing education.
So you're certified by the Department of Agriculture.
Correct.
I guess they're quote unquote trusting you to go do your job correctly.
Well,
I don't know if they trust anybody.
they're actually holding, actually holding me accountable for what our employees do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so everything.
That's the idea behind that.
Yeah, there you go. We have our employees, and if they do something wrong, of course they get slapped on the wrist, but they come after the top.
You just get slapped. Forget the wrist.
Yeah, you get slapped and a lot of other things. Yeah, exactly.
But now you mentioned what did you say? Registration?
Yeah, there's a registration that the technicians. There's a test for that to become a registered.
Technicians are guys driving your trucks,
driving the trucks,
servicing houses,
applying the product.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
But they have to go through testing as well.
Exactly, testing and also keep up their continuing education.
I got you. So if I came to work for you this afternoon and jumped in your truck, odds are I probably wouldn't be legal.
You wouldn't be legal because before you can even jump in a truck, you have to go through so many hours of classroom training.
More training.
Yes, and then you have to go through holding hand training, which is being in the truck with somebody for
supervision.
Exactly 40 hours. And
do you ever get to actually hire them?
Well, that's another
6 months later.
You hire them from day one because they do expect
you
to
pay you pay them from day one.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of even though in our industry the chemical is not the most liability thing that we do, actually driving is our biggest liability.
I can imagine that. Yeah.
But even with that said, the insects, the biology of most of the insects, you got to know what it is and how to treat it. You know, so many different types of ants, so many different types of roaches. Some of them work, some of the product works better than others on different types of them.
Sure.
So you need that education on what you're dealing with, how to apply the product, where to apply the product.
I got you.
To have the best effect on everything.
So these guys driving your truck, they've already got the knowledge, and even though it may be their first day on their own, they already have some experience behind them.
Absolutely, they have to have the on-the-job experience along with the education.
Do you get in trouble if you have someone in one of your trucks who doesn't meet all that criteria?
Well, you can, yes. You can get in trouble, especially if they're applying product. Now, they can ride around all day long.
Sure.
But,
you mentioned supervision, right?
Yes. We stick a new registered tech with our existing to ride around to get the experience.
Gotcha.
Of, product, where to use it, how to use it. But even more than that, to introduce them to our customers.
Well, that's important, too.
Yeah, so they understand what the new face is about. And understand that to better serve them, we got to have plenty of time, plenty of help.
You got to take your time.
Yes,
you're not in a hurry. I'm with you.
Right.
So you're regulated by the state of Georgia.
Yes, sir.
You didn't just put a name on your truck and off you go.
You actually have to have.
People don't understand that, or they don't realize it. They don't realize that.
There's actually some signs out on the side of the road that said "Whole House Pest Control, $19." Those guys are not licensed.
Really?
They're actually a carpet company.
How about that?
But the only way, I mean, the department is so busy, and to have somebody litigate those guys, it's just hard. But us as certified operators, we're encouraged to turn them in.
Absolutely.
There's Joe Blows out there with a truck and a compressed air sprayer that will go in and treat. But they're not licensed. They're not legal.
I got you.
The Department of Natural Resources, but then you got to have county license and stuff like that.
Sure.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
My curiosity would be, and this isn't really a question, and you may know about this, I don't know. My curiosity would be, though, if someone doesn't hold a license and they're doing it, quote unquote, illegally,
mm-hmm.
what can a government agency do to them?
Well, it's
because they don't have a license.
Right.
It's hard to find someone that doesn't exist.
That's right. And the only way we have been explained from the Department of Agriculture themselves is they would need a invoice, and they would also need a receipt where you paid them.
Oh, okay.
And then they can actually go out and litigate them. There's laws in place with certain, whether it starts out at $10,000 per incident.
I got you.
But yeah, they do that, and they do investigate them.
Good.
Most of Department of Agriculture, it runs off of a complaint system, so we'd go through a yearly inspection from the Department of Agriculture, which they just changed it to every 2-year inspection.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? So they come in and they do what? They kick the tires?
They come in, they pull your paperwork, they go through, see if they can find any violations to, whether you wrote down the wrong method applied or whether you
that sounds involved.
Targeted the wrong insect or put
You
chemical.
You got to write all that down.
Yes, you do have to write it down. Thankfully, nowadays there are programs, computer programs that you can buy that most of that stuff is built in.
Nice.
So we're switching over to a new one now where our technicians can't move on to the next screen until they put the right answer in.
That makes sense.
So it really helps us out because human error is big.
Oh, of course it is.
And, education, we're in an education building, but a lot of us people didn't learn to write very well.
Sure.
My wife accuses me of being maybe a doctor because it looks like a prescription when I do write. You can't
Well, I don't know.
understand
I've had my hands broken enough times I can't write either. But,
but
you're
even
probably in a
that-
similar boat.
Even that is a rule from the Department of Agriculture. They got to be able to read it, and if not, they can get the tech that wrote it.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're serious about keeping everyone safe. It
sounds like
comes
they're very
to
serious.
Product. Yeah.
Wow. I hear you.
Yeah.
So, wow. What you're doing, I think the point I'm trying to convey to everyone listening is the things that you're doing, it's just not some guys riding around doing some spraying. That sounds like a horrible word.
It really is. And the thing about it, what we want to put in front of everything we do is professional.
That's another great word.
Professional.
That's a great
because
word.
we have been in the trenches. We know what works, what does not work. We know why you have it and where it's coming from. So our biggest weapon against most insects and things are education.
Yeah, yeah.
Keep the bushes cut off your house.
Right.
Keep the mulch changed out. Don't let it get a foot thick. Take it out and put new in. Just educating our customers on what needs to do to get rid of that conducive condition so it helps us. Pest control is only 50% of it.
Right.
The rest of it is homeowner activities. That
Maintaining
they can do.
their property.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Most people go out and walk around their house. They never look up. They don't
No.
look up to see if the gutters are full. They don't look up to see if limbs are touching the roof.
Growing into the house.
There you go.
Right.
And that's a lot of conducive conditions that we can bring to their attention. They can help us out. And it actually makes your pest control a lot more effective.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Now, you also do wildlife.
There's another beast right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to just say you're brave or
Well-
crazy. Maybe a combination of both. I don't know.
The thing about it is when I started in the pest control industry, I had started the wildlife division in the other company.
Right.
And you get to a point where if you're like me, you like to serve.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't want to be a big box store, but I want to be able to do stuff that I know, which is wildlife. We know wildlife. We're very effective at it, and be able to offer our current customers a way out. If they're having any kind of wildlife issues, we don't want them going to another company, big box company, where they can jump in and get that. And then, those bigger companies tend to want to package you into everything.
Oh, we can do your pest control too.
Yeah.
I can imagine that happening a lot.
We done it because we're good at it. We've helped out other pest control companies. Right now we have relationships with other pest control companies that don't do wildlife. So we will take care of their customers and never touch them as far as pest control. They stay where they're at.
That's
we
a
take care of
great
their
agreement
wildlife.
if you can get it.
Absolutely. And we stand by that. Our integrity is huge when it comes to something like that.
When I hear wildlife control, I think of ladders. Ladders, I'm allergic to ladders.
Ladders are that's everything in wildlife.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
glad you do it and I don't.
Well, we actually took care of a condominium. It's an old schoolhouse downtown Atlanta that they turned into condominiums. And the gable vent was about 65 foot off the ground.
Wow.
We own a 60-foot ladder. It takes 4 of us to get the thing out.
I was about to ask
set
you.
it up, get
How
it
many
up
men
there.
does that take?
It takes 4 of us to
I
move
know
it
a
around.
40-foot ladder, a 32-foot ladder is not something you deal with by yourself.
Well, 32 and
Or at least very well,
yeah,
anyway.
right. Well, 32 and 40-foot ladders are on every one of our trucks, so
Wow.
we use 40 often.
How about that?
Some of the houses, out on the full basements, we use them a lot.
Well, that's true. More or less a 3-level house.
Right.
I never
Yep.
thought of that. Sure.
Yep. So ladders are a big thing. So training. Once again, the Department of Agriculture regulates the pest control side of it. the DNR somewhat regulates some of the wildlife side of it, but the biggest thing is safety issues, and then we have to do that internally, which is training about ladder use, how to set them up, how to take them down, how to make sure you've got them even leaning them against the house right.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can do damage with ladders if you don't use them right.
Yeah.
You can cave in gutters, mess up soffits. Don't ask me how I know that stuff.
How about stained glass window?
Well, I didn't even want to bring up windows. I don't want to jinx you. But
the ones we have had an incident on happen to be a stained glass window. So
of course.
Finding a guy who can repair stained glass windows, they're not out there everywhere.
I bet not.
But they're out there.
Oh, thank goodness they are.
Right.
Thank goodness they are. Now, do you do exclusion work? Do you trap?
Well, the
combination of both, I guess.
I'll run you through the process real quick.
Please do.
The very first thing is a good, proper inspection.
Sure.
We go out, we see what you have, what it's going to take to get it out, and what it's going to take to keep it out.
Okay.
So, bats are different from squirrels, and gray squirrels are different from flying squirrels.
I've heard that.
And that's totally different from rodents. So we do it all. We don't do necessarily out in the south of the house down by the creek and the coyotes and the beavers. We have trappers that we pass that on to. Sure. But we're more of a structural.
The house.
Yep, yeah. More of a structure. So we do take care of that. And just doing a thorough inspection and finding out what we're dealing with. You can tell by signs of the insulation in the attic what you have up there, whether it's rats or flying squirrels. You can tell by the chew holes, different things, but proper inspection. Then we come up with a plan on what it's going to take to get them out. Most of the time it does include exclusion work. What we do on the exclusion work is seal up any avenue that they have getting inside of the house. We leave them one way to get out, and that's called a one-way door. It's kind of like a dog door. They can push their way out, but they can't get back in.
They can't get back in.
Yep.
Right.
And then we put a warranty on that as well. All of our exclusion work comes with a one-year warranty.
Nice.
Yep. So we know what we're doing, and we try to make it happen the first time. Now, do we have callbacks on that? Sure we do.
Oh, yeah.
Animals are persistent. And
oh, gosh, yeah.
Once they find home, they're going to do what it takes to stay there.
Their cousins, their brothers, their sisters, you name it. They can smell where the other's been.
Nothing's more persistent than a gray squirrel who's had babies in the attic.
Oh, yeah.
They will gnaw through galvanized gutters. They'll gnaw through aluminum gutters. They'll do what they have to get back in.
Nice, nice. Now, you mentioned bats. And I've heard you be referred to as the Batman.
Right.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But there's special rules with bats. I've been told that my whole life. There's special rules.
Yeah.
They're protected. Are they endangered? They're not endangered.
They're not endangered.
They're protected.
But they are protected. And a lot of homeowners don't understand that they are protected. And that law doesn't just stand to companies. It's also you as a homeowner.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Yes. Right.
The bats are protected, and from the middle of May through the end of August, you're not supposed to even mess with them because that's when they have their little pink pups and
their babies.
Right, and once they get hair and they start flying, then you're able to take care of them. But even with that, you got to have a special permit. And
do you really?
Yep, nuisance wildlife control permit.
Gotcha.
And we have that. We have all the license, all the permits that we need to do the work on wildlife.
Gotcha. So I imagine getting them out is the issue. Sealing it up, you could seal it up probably with anything.
On bats, yes. They're not like squirrels.
That's what I meant
raccoons.
with bats.
Yeah, the bats. Yeah, you can pretty much seal them up with some foam.
How do you get them out? Do you go up there with a radio and scare them, or
no?
That don't work.
No,
darn. That's why I don't do it.
People's like, well, bats they fly at night. Just turn the light on in your attic. And
that doesn't work either.
No, that doesn't work either. Bats. They do come out and feed at night, but to get them out, you do the same way we do with our exclusion. We give them what we call a bat valve. We make them ourselves. It's a way a bat doesn't take off flying like a bird. It falls out, catches air, and takes off
It gets
flying.
momentum. Right.
Exactly. So we create some bat valves and put them over the main entry point, and they fly out, can't get back in because everything else
just takes a couple days.
Usually one day.
One day.
As far
because they're going to go out and eat.
That's it.
I got you.
That's why they encourage us to wait till after everything is flying to get it sealed up.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because you don't want to exclude and just have a bunch of pups in there that can't get out.
Right. Well, if you kill mama, then you just killed all those babies. You just killed a bat.
Exactly.
Yeah. No. Someone told me that years ago. I thought that was true.
Yeah.
I know bats are taken very, very seriously. Everyone's scared of them, or almost everyone's scared of them.
Yeah. But
they're very important.
main things that we hear out of a lot of homeowners. Well, you got bats. Well, all I'll do is I'll just put up a bat house, in the backyard, and they'll move out there. Well, no, that doesn't happen.
That doesn't work?
No, it doesn't work 90% of the time. You have to introduce them into that house.
Really?
Yeah, so a lot of times if you can get to the pups and the moms, you can remove them and introduce them into that and hope they stay there. Most times they don't, but that's what we're encouraged to do.
But now a bat house, I don't want to get too far off topic, but a bat house, you've got to put that thing 8-10 feet in the air.
Yeah.
It's got to be way off the ground.
Away from predators.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
But now a bat doesn't have, we're getting off topic, forgive me. I'm getting a look from the producer again. A bat doesn't have feathered wings.
Right.
It doesn't have the lift that a bird does.
Right.
So they gain momentum. They drift.
Yep. They usually fall out of their holes.
Right.
Yep. And then take off.
Get momentum.
Now, I have actually had some to where we removed them. They actually jump up from the ground and take off.
I never thought of that.
It doesn't happen often.
Right. I think as a little kid, I was told if a bat touches the ground, it dies.
Yeah.
And now I kind of understand why.
Well, one thing I want to mention about bats, everybody's like, well, that's one of the best things to have around your house because it eats so many mosquitoes and bugs, and that's true.
Yeah.
However, you need to look up histoplasmosis.
Yeah.
And that's a disease that you can catch from the bat guano once it dries and creates a dust, and they say it's like the worst case of flu you ever had. Mm-hmm. I've also heard that once you get it and live through it, that you won't ever catch it again. You'll be immune to it.
How about that?
But that is one of the diseases that you really don't want. How about this? Since we years ago created the third world travel so much, we got bed bugs back in America. It was eradicated one time.
Right.
Well, there's a thing called a bat bug that's the same, looks just like a bed bug. And I've had houses where I go in and do a quote, and they say, well, this company quoted us for bed bugs. And I get to look at them, but they're only in this bedroom right up below the gable vent. And it turned out to be bat bugs.
How about that?
Yeah.
So you do bed bugs?
No. Bed bugs we do. We have other companies, like I say, that we partner with, and we'll farm it out.
I got you. I've heard to do bed bugs successfully, you got to just tear a room or even a house apart.
Well,
no stone unturned.
Used to.
Okay.
Now it's heat.
Really?
They bring in these big heaters, heat up the inside of your house.
That's scary.
Heat kills them.
How about that?
And it's a pretty easy job as far as doing it that way.
You have the equipment, it's easy.
Yeah, right.
I got you. What other services does Holder's Pest and Wildlife Services, what other services do you guys handle?
I would get in trouble if I didn't mention them, especially by my wife, because she loves to mention
We don't want you in trouble.
We offer insulation, pulling out damaged insulation, whether it be from gray squirrels, raccoons.
In attics.
Bats, in attics.
Okay.
Even crawl spaces, the bat insulation. Okay. We'll remove it all, sanitize, and blow in or put in new insulation.
I got you.
We also do sanitization.
Right.
When COVID hit, I went and got the license to be able to sanitize for COVID. We have some chemical that's almost, what nobody says 100, but it's 99% effective on killing most bacteria, germs, stuff like that.
Did that ever take off, the sanitation?
Probably
as much as you wanted.
As much as we wanted to.
Right.
We had a big commercial account, and when any employee got diagnosed, they would have to shut down. We could go in and sanitize in 2 hours. They were open back up.
I got you.
So it had its part, but I think for the most part now that it's kind of gone away.
Okay.
But it's still there. And we do a lot of attic sanitizing, crawl space sanitizing.
After the wildlife's been in it.
Wildlife.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, is that a fog, a mist?
We do both.
Okay.
We have a fogger that we can set up in the attic crawl space.
They call it UV?
ULV.
ULV, okay.
Ultra low volume.
Yeah, there you go.
Puts it out. But we also have a electrostatic backpack gun, that I'll call it.
Gotcha.
Where when we treat something, it's electrostatic charged, and it kind of wraps around anything that you spray, and it
really
kind of sticks to it. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You should have brought that. We could have just played here in the. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, we would have looked like Ghostbusters walking around.
Well, we are at a school. We'd be cool. The kids would think we were cool.
Yeah, and
I haven't been cool for 30 years. So,
right. Wow.
Just saying.
I think you're cool.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah. But that's one of the places that really could be utilized in schools, daycare, places like that.
Now, do you do pest control in schools?
I do not.
You do not. I bet that's heavily regulated.
Very.
They take that seriously.
Scrutinized.
Yes. Okay.
One of the things that, and the Department of Agriculture tries to be reactive. on things like that. They call us getting in compliance versus holding us down and punishing us. They want us to be in compliance.
Sure.
So they look at certain things each time they come do an inspection, whether it's schools, whether it's daycares, different things like that.
Gotcha. No, I'm with you on that.
So schools was something when I decided to get into the business and was so busy that things I didn't want that was going to take tons of time.
Right.
Because in a school, you cannot treat where a kid is going to be within 2 hours.
Oh, really?
So either you had to run a night route.
As I say, you had to do it at night.
Yeah, that's
the kids aren't there, or a weekend.
Right. And then the difference being colleges are not considered a school per se, like a public school system. So you can go take care of a college anytime.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How about that?
I guess maybe because by age they were adults.
I guess so. Yeah. I guess at least physically, right?
Right.
I didn't say that. That was horrible.
Yeah.
That's horrible. Well, Mark, what else did we miss?
I don't know that we really missed anything.
That was a lot of cool information, man.
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot of information left, but it's a lot of technical stuff. But what we strive to be different, because you can pull up at a four-way stop and see 3 different pest control company
there
trucks.
Are thousands of you across
Yes.
the metro and northeast area.
So somewhere you have to set yourself apart. We like to set ourselves apart as a family-owned and operated business who is not a cookie cutter, who comes up with a low-cost solution for your particular problem, and warranty our work, and we have excellent customer service.
What's the website? I know we got a website.
It's holders-pest.com.
Holders-pest.com. And you're on Facebook.
I'm on Facebook. Yep.
Do you want to give a number out, phone number out?
Yeah, it's 678-897-0651. That's the office number.
That's the office number.
Yep, you can call, and usually you can get next day, sometimes the same day, but next day appointments to get quoted.
Nice.
Inspected and quoted.
Now, what areas? The northeast area, the 85 corridor? You go all over, though.
We go all over.
You do go all over, especially for wildlife.
For wildlife, we, as far as Roswell, Marietta, all the way to Lithia Springs. We go to Peachtree City. We kind of go all over.
I hear you.
We're in Atlanta probably 4 days a week. Atlanta, not no knock on Atlanta, but it's covered up in rats because it's so dense, so many restaurants.
The number 2 city in America for rats per person.
Yeah.
Behind New York.
Yeah.
You'll never get that number 1 out of New York, but
probably not.
Number 2. Be proud, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, probably if we had more politicians here, we'd be number 1.
Mark said that. I did not.
Right.
Hey, wow, producer shaking his head on that one. Folks, we're going to get out of here. Listen, holders-pest.com, holders-pest.com, 678-897-0651. Get a hold of Mark and the folks at Holders Pest and Wildlife Services. There's my music. There it is. Hey, give the folks at Holders a call. They've been in the business a little while. They know what they're talking about. Don't worry, I've shook them down for you. Another great show. Northeast Georgia Business Radio X. I'm Tom Sheldon. Talk to you soon.